interesting news break since last night. Oh, hello, Justin. Welcome to the chat. So, we've had some interesting news break last night. Funny enough, after I spoke about Kathy Hochul's aide and was talking about how I believe it's incredibly likely that there are many, many politicians, political staffers, media pundits, other YouTubers, live streamers that are likely working for foreign countries, even whether they know it or not, to influence US public opinion. I said then that there are almost certainly tons more, and the next day dropped this little bit of information. So let's start off with social media influencing and have a look at what CNN has to say before we go into the Twitter thread that most of you have probably seen and break it down. But let's start with this.
The U.S. government is trying to peel back more layers of
Oh, whoops, hold on. I have the, I forgot to set the sound to the right thing. Second, headphones in. There we go.
Today, the U.S. government is trying to peel back more layers of what officials say are massive and complex efforts underway to influence your vote in the upcoming election. One part of these alleged plots replacing your average 2016 Russian social media bots with actual conservative Americans, right-wing influencers with a combined...
Hold on, I just want to check to see if it's working. Yes, okay, lovely. Sound is working. I've gotten into the habit of needing to do a sound check because of how much OBS hates me. But yes, so Russian media bots and social media influencers.
With actual conservative Americans, right-wing influencers with a combined millions of followers, influencers.
Now, anyone who's ever watched any of Tim Pool, this is not surprising at all. Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, also not all that surprising. But Tim Pool is quite a funny situation for this. We'll go deeper into this.
Promoted by Elon Musk, some visited by Republican politicians, such as former President Trump. People who attack anyone pushing for aid to Ukraine, seeking to discredit traditional news organizations. Attorney General Merrick Garland said that these individuals are working for a company that is funded.
Now, remember just a couple streams ago, we went over the report that Russia was planning to spend a lot of money specifically on down ballot candidates during the election that would be anti-Ukraine. Obviously, this goes into that strategy, but there's many, many, many layers of this. And again, it's not just Russia.
Funded with millions of dollars from the Kremlin. And in some cases, these individuals have raked in hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. And while some are calling these influencers dupes or useful idiots, they claim they did not know about the origin of this money and that they are in fact victims.
All right.
All of this after
just on that point alone, some of them may not have known, but really I have a hard time believing that. We'll get to it when we get to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm too excited to talk about this.
The Justice Department said on Wednesday that Russia has funneled nearly $10 million into a front company based in Tennessee with the express purpose of interfering in the U.S. presidential election. Prosecutors think that Russian leader Vladimir Putin's fingerprints are all over this conspiracy. In response, the U.S. charged 2 specific Russian nationals, sanctioned 10 additional people, and seized dozens of internet domains. CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan is all over this.
So I gotta say, I'm very much a fan of this new push by the U.S. government to clean up the corruption, at least the foreign country corruption. We still have plenty of our own, but very much in favor of all of these indictments. I mean, we have several now, not just from Russia, but we have some from China. There was a raid today on the aide to, what was his name? The New York City mayor's aide. I have it here, just a second. Eric Adams' aide. And we know Eric Adams was taking money from Turkey in 2021. And we don't know specifically exactly why the FBI raided his aide's house yet, but I mean, it adds up pretty well.
Tony, who are the right-wing influencers and what kind of content are they pushing out?
Hey, Jake. Yeah, I think if we bring up that full screen again of three of them there, you can see a lot of folks will never have heard of these people: Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin. But you can see between them, just on YouTube alone, they have about 7 million subscribers.
Just a reminder, as I haven't watched this CNN video. I think we're gonna skip it in about a minute. I don't want to hear the whole thing at the moment. We can probably come back and look at the pundits, but I do want to get through this quickly because we have a lot about education to talk about. But, sorry, didn't realize I had this on the screen. If you don't know any of these people, good for you. You're probably lucky and your brain's probably a little bit less rotted than those who do. But specifically for Tim Pool, just a reminder that he has platformed Nazis on multiple occasions. Nick Fuentes, Milo Yiannopoulos, Kanye. He tries to appear constantly as if he is a centrist on his show, Timcast. However, he has very, very clearly been a right-wing grifter for a very long time, and really just all he cares about is making money. He'll say pretty much anything.
They're the right-wing superstars, the far-right social media stars, where a lot of Americans are getting their news, their political opinion, and their misinformation from people like this. Look, these are all guys and the other folks who were allegedly duped into working for this alleged Russian disinformation.
A question here.
Yeah, and so Tenant Media was basically a front organization. What the DOJ alleges is that Russian operatives co-opted some people here in the U.S.
So, okay, we're gonna skip CNN because you're boring me. But Tenant Media was a front organization. It was owned by Founder One. Sorry, not Founder One. Owned by a Canadian company. I said Founder One because it says it in here. It was owned by a Canadian company who was run by Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan. Now, Lauren Chen, for those who don't know, just a quick look at her Wikipedia page. She is a right-wing influencer. Oh my God. It instantly brings you to Tenant Media because obviously this is the discussion at the moment. Why is it not going straight to Wikipedia? No, not talk. I want actual Lauren Chen. Maybe her Wikipedia page got taken down. I saw this like not even 5 minutes ago. Whatever. Regardless, she is not only a right-wing grifter, but also part of TPUSA, which is a very fashy organization to say the least, and is either owns or works with Blaze TV, which is another right-wing media organization. So these people are all very concentrated on the right. Now, Tenant Media is a Tennessee-based company that was owned by this Canadian company, which was contracted to work with RT, Russian television. And so we can start off with the actual indictment. Now, this is a great thread by Eric Troller. This is who I've been seeing many of the other content creators on YouTube also look into. Now, this all happened while I was asleep, so I've had maybe an hour or two to catch up this morning on it. So I'm going to be learning some of this as we go along with you guys. But so U.S. Company One is a United States corporation established under the laws of Tennessee. This would be Tenant Media. Founder One has described U.S. Company One as the U.S. subsidiary of Founder One's Canadian company. Founder One being Lauren Chen, Canadian Company One, as set forth from in or about March 2021 to about February 2022, Founder One used Canadian Company One to produce content for RT pursuant to a written contract. Now, hold on. This is, I had the name of the actual Chinese company, not the Chinese company, the Canadian company as well somewhere in here. Hold on. We'll just keep reading. The moment it'll come up. When it comes up, actually, this is going to bother me if I don't have the, whatever. Now, yes, so they worked with RT's parent organization, Ano TV Novosti. The content generally consisted of English language social commentary. RT directly published some of Founder One's paid work, while Founder One posted other of Founder One's paid work on Founder One's personal accounts without attribution to RT. Now, again, Founder One is Lauren Chen. We can see this based on evidence of the actual company information somewhere in this thread. I don't know why it's not all the way. Oh, here's the Canadian entity. Yes. Liam Donovan, Lauren Yusum Tam, who is actually Lauren Chen. This is Roaming Alliance Corporation, Roaming Millennial Incorporated. Roaming Millennial is Lauren Chen's actual social media handle. Roaming Nomad, Pizzeria, etc., etc. So Roaming is what I'm going to refer to the Canadian company as from now on. So Roaming billed Ano TV Novosti for approximately 217 videos, which 209 were published on Founder One's personal YouTube channel. The U.S. company established under the laws of Tennessee. Okay. Yes. Here we go. Founder One Incorporated, U.S. Company One, on or about January 19th of 2022, and applied with the Tennessee Department of State to transact business under its current operating name, which Company One, Tenet Media, uses on its website and social media channels on or about May 22nd, 2023. On its website, Tenet Media described itself as a network of heterodox commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues, and identified 6 commentators, including commentators 1 and 2, which we do know the names of. We can decipher who each commentator is based on the numbers they give later. I'll say their names when we get to it, because I don't want to claim it too early. U.S. Company One, so Tenet Media, regularly posts videos featuring these commentators, as well as other videos that do not feature the commentators. And here we get the indictment specifies that 2 people who work for Tennessee company Tenet were deceived, meaning that they didn't know that the Russian media was running an influence op. Now, this is Dave Rubin and Tim Pool who are claiming they were deceived. Now, we know that commentator 1, here we go, Kalishnikov Afansyeva, Founder 1 and Founder 2, also worked together to deceive 2 U.S. online commentators, Commentator 1 and 2, who respectively have over 2.4 million and 1.3 million YouTube subscribers. Now, we know that Dave Rubin would be Commentator 1, as he's the one named in the indictment that has the closest number of subscriber count to that, and Tim Pool would be number 2, also named in the indictment, and also has the closest to that subscriber count. Founder 1 and 2 contracted with Commentator 1 and 2 to produce videos using Commentator 1 and 2's own names, leveraging their existing audiences for license and publication by U.S. Company 1. Therefore, Tim Pool and Dave Rubin worked with Tenet Media, licensed their publications to Tenet Media, and Kalishnikov Afansyeva, Founder 1 and 2, worked together to mask U.S. Company 1's true source of funding, i.e. RT, by falsely portraying Commentator 1 and 2 that Commentator 1 and 2 that the U.S. company was sponsored by a private investor named Edward Gregorian. This person never existed. There is no Edward Gregorian. Now, before we continue on with this thread, I just want to, this is the clip that a lot of people have been showing. Just, Tim Pool suggests that he was unaware of the Russian influence, the Russian funding of this company that he was working with, right? However, posting content like this on his own channel, Timcast, which is not owned by Tenet Media, while being paid by Russians, seems a little sus. Let's have a look.
But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
I mean, this is psychotic on its own, but it's very clear that he's probably getting paid to say these things. Now, I don't know for a fact. It is alleged. However, I mean...
They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong, I know. You've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline.
This is just America bad, Russia good talking points. I mean, it's not all that surprising. Now, it's another thing when we suggest that Tim Pool and co are useful idiots, quite another when the DOJ alleges it in an indictment. The traitors are easy to spot. Trump operatives say Project 2025 plans to give Trump total control, unchecked legal power, blah, blah, blah. This is the kind of thing Tim Pool puts on his program.
Be in jail, no question. Should Democrats be in jail? No question. When Donald Trump gets elected, should he start locking them up? No question. Should there be lists of Democrats that need to go to jail? 100%. And the reason for that is they've committed crimes. We need to make sure that when Donald Trump wins, we've got an attorney general, a deputy attorney general, a head of the CIA and the FBI. Kash Patel would be fantastic. We can have attorney general. There's some names floating around. And then they can start having their investigators and the feds issuing subpoenas, pulling up evidence, and with real evidence, bring them to judges for warrants. Then these people can spend three years of their lives fighting tooth and nail for the crime against the government for crimes they committed, and we can prove. Yeah. And the reason why we put them on trial is that we can show the whole world we will uncover what you've done. We will make sure everyone knows, and you will be held accountable for it.
Not just jail. They should get the death penalty.
I wonder if he wants this to apply to him. You know, he has committed crimes. The government, with evidence, has alleged that he has. Are you still on board with this, Tim? Now, but let's see this next part as well. I forgot about this ending.
Get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
I guess it cuts off there.
Should
death penalty for treason, Tim? I mean, I don't know. I feel like working for a foreign nation who is objectively our enemy at the moment, Russia, might be a little bit treasonous, don't you think? Benny Johnson also has 2.4 million, but they apparently rounded down from 1.37 to 1.3 with Tim. So figure Rubin's 2.4 was the fact that he is commentator 1. On about February 15, 2024, Afansieva, as, quote, Helena Shudra, shared with Tenant Media, U.S. Company One, a video of a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia. Afansieva posted the video in the producer Discord channel. Later that day, producer 1 privately messaged founder 2 on Discord saying, quote, they want me to post this, referencing the video that Afansieva had posted, but it, quote, just feels like overt shilling. Founder 2 replied that founder 1 thinks we should put it out there, and founder 1 acquiesced, responding, all right, I'll put it out tomorrow. Now, the video that they're referencing is obviously Tucker Carlson when he went to Russia to glaze the Russian government and went into a supermarket and said some really dumb shit. Let's have a look.
Feature, maybe the longest standing feature of Cold War propaganda in the West, was the Soviet grocery store. No products, no choices, shoddily made things. And it wasn't actually propaganda, it was real. And you can look up the pictures on the internet if you want. So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a contemporary, modern day, 2024 Russian grocery store.
Just for some context, prior to doing this, he went and interviewed Putin for an hour, which was an entire waste of time. Putin laughed at him. I think made reference to the fact that Tucker Carlson tried to join the CIA and failed. And I think Putin said something along the lines of, it's okay. You don't have to be good enough for the CIA. And then went and talked about, 500-year-old history regarding Ukraine to, fill some time. Obviously, they don't respect Tucker Carlson. They don't respect any of us, really. The people that they are paying to put out their message are their puppets. They're not their equals. Obviously, Russia does not consider people like Tim Pool or people like Tucker Carlson as their equals. They pay them. They're employees. Well, actually, I don't know if they pay Tucker Carlson exactly. He wasn't alleged in this specific indictment as someone working with Tenant Media. However, come on. The right wing is consumed by the grift, and Russia is one of the world's leading sources of right-wing ethno-nationalist, white supremacist Nazi propaganda, and are one of the main creators of the bot networks that consistently push out this sort of information online. So it wouldn't be surprising to me.
2 years into sanctions. Here we go. All right.
Again, this is old. We've seen
There
a
we
lot
go.
of this. I think we can skip some of it, but
Which is one thing I can assess pretty well. The low-carb lifestyle has not swept Russia. Thank heaven, because I mean, look at that.
just walking through a grocery store.
Cheese puffs. You check out of a grocery store and you've got gum.
How embarrassing is this? This man was like the Fox News anchor that everyone in the country that was, watches Fox News listened to before he lost his job for overtly lying. And now he makes little videos like this where he goes to supermarkets in Russia and pretends that everything's great. Now, this is a good point that he makes here, actually. There is a lot of candy in this store that's actually sanctioned. There's many things that pop up in this grocery store, in fact, that are sanctioned goods that somehow have made their way to being sold in Russia, like Snickers and Twix, Gillette, for example, Mars bars. These are all sanctioned. Milky Way. None of these should technically be in Russia. And then he finishes this off by pretending that Russian grocery stores are affordable, not accounting for the fact that he has United States money and the exchange rate is what makes it affordable for him, and that it is not affordable for the average Russian. But yes, so this is referencing specifically Tucker Carlson. Some more legwork on this thread on identifying other unnamed and very likely masked commentators. Commentator 6 for sure is Matt Christensen in this video referenced in this paragraph. On or about November 1st, 2023, one of the 6 commentators listed on the website, Commentator 6, posted a video on YouTube announcing the launch of US Company 1. In the video, Commentator 6 explained that Tenet Media was a project of Founder 1 and 2. We're trying to build a new platform of independent media, which would be Find Me on Tenet Media, Monday, November 6th. So this is Matt Christensen, another Russian asset at this point. One of the indicted RT employees used the handle Novichok, Hobu for OK, when rendered into Latinized Russian. It is the name of a chemical weapon and also means novice. It seems like he was using this username before the Skripal poisonings. The DOJ today indicted employee Konstantin Kalashnikov for organizing illicit dissemination of fake news aiming to poison the domestic U.S. election debate. Aptly, his Facebook profile is named Novichok, which is, again, a poison. RT, formerly known as Russian Today, is a state-controlled media outlet funded directly by the government of Russia. And yes, so this would be Konstantin Kalashnikov. Now, much of the money that went to Rubin and Poole, according to indictment, Rubin received $400,000 per month for 16 videos, plus a performance bonus of $100,000 and a signing bonus. A performance bonus and a $100,000 signing bonus. All for a series in which Rubin commented on dumb internet clips that often received roughly about 1,000 views per episode. Geez. Tenet also proved lucrative for Poole, who made $100,000 per episode for a weekly show that he hosted. According to prosecutors, the same month that Tenet launched, Poole purchased a skate park in Martinsburg, West Virginia, as well as significant real estate. Now, Tim Poole actually seems to have gotten the better deal of this, as he got to make his content on Timcast, his own show, so it's not owned by Tenet Media, yet he still got paid $100,000 per episode. It's obscene. Obviously, for that kind of money, you're going to be doing someone a favor. No one's giving you $100,000 an episode to just because they want to. And for Dave Rubin, no one's giving you $400,000 for 16 clips of you talking about internet memes without there being a reason for it. Yep, so we got there already. Now, again, I just genuinely do not believe that Tim Pool did not know what he was doing and that they were being paid by the Russian government. But who knows? Maybe. They paid $10 million in total by Russia to spread disinformation, rally support for convicted felon. Obviously, Russia wants Donald Trump to win. Trump will just let them take Ukraine. Now, I said this last stream, and I'm going to say this again. It's not just Russia. The amount of countries that are the amount of political commentators, politicians, their staffers that work for other countries covertly is much higher than we know. Think about who would want to influence our elections. We have Russia, we have China, we have Israel, who we already know is, trying very hard to influence public opinion in the United States. We just don't care about them for, I was going to say for some reason, but I know why we don't care about Israel influencing us. Well, not we, but, the government. There's Turkey, there's Iran, there's many, many countries that are likely paying content creators to say things that they want said. There's many a fascist nation out there that could benefit from some positive PR from the United States. Now, beyond that, give me a second. This is the official statement from Tim Pool regarding the indictment and what he thinks. Just one moment here. My statement regarding allegations and the leaked DOJ indictment. Should these allegations prove true, I, as well as other personalities and commentators, were deceived and are victims. I cannot speak for anyone else. The Culture War podcast was licensed by Tenet Media. It existed well before any license agreement. The only change with the agreement was that the location of the live broadcast was moved to Tenet's YouTube channel. Never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control. The contents of the show are often apolitical, blah, 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 including discussing spirituality, dating, and video games, as if those don't also fall into politics. Come on, Tim. Like, everything is politics. All of these things are political. But whatever. TCW is a separate company not associated with timcast.com or other properties, blah, 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 blah. Putin is a scumbag, Russia sucks donkey balls, and to the journalists who wish to jump the gun and create their own narrative or lie about what's currently going on, you can eat my Irish ass. Now, look, this needs to be investigated properly. I have my opinion, but I cannot state for a fact that Tim Pool is a Russian agent, knowingly, at the very least. We know that he was a Russian agent. Whether he did it knowingly or not is different. I need evidence to prove him innocent, because there's plenty of evidence for a very long time that has hinted towards that narrative. And again, these are known grifters, okay? Like, this isn't just a standard New York Times journalist that we're talking about that has not had a history of, I mean, to be fair, I'm making that reference, but goddamn, they're corrupt too. All of these people are corrupt. There is nobody honest that is talking about the news. None of these big commentators, especially on the right, are ever honest. On the left, at least, we have some honest. We have our fair share of grifters. We have quite a lot. But a lot of the grifters that were on the left kind of shifted right anyway, so this is Benny Johnson's statement. A year ago, a media startup pitched my company to provide content as an independent contractor. Our lawyers negotiated a standard arm's length deal, which was later terminated. We are disturbed by the allegations, blah, 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 denial, denial, denial. Here's all the times Tim is called for civil war. That's unsurprising. Also unrelated, though. This is not a stream about how much of a shitty person Tim Pool is, even though I would like to do that. Now, how many times did Elon Musk promote just one of these Kremlin agents? Because Elon Musk probably also has some ties to the Russian government. It would not surprise me. He's the world's richest man. He is a right-wing, grifter as well. he seems like the type of person that Russia would reach out to. But, you know, you can see here Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Matt Gates, which unrelated-ish, I guess. But obviously, Elon Musk is pretty fucking stupid, so it wouldn't surprise me if he was just interacting with these grifters because he actually believes them, because he is that dumb. But don't underestimate how much the right wing hates you, and don't underestimate how much how out of their way they will go to deceive you and to lie to you because they're doing illegal things and they want them hidden. Now, is what Elon Musk doing at this current point in time illegal? I don't know. It could be, though. It really, really could be. And that's the issue, is we have so much corruption, and yet we don't really have a system in place of dealing with this corruption. And that's one of the reasons why I'm actually quite happy to see these recent efforts by the US government to crack down on several individuals that are suspected of being foreign agents. Now, this is Eric Adams, and this is from 2023. This is old news, but today his AIDS home was raided. And for context for that, let's have just a little bit of a look at this. So Eric Adams was he's the mayor of New York City, or was at the time, I believe. I don't know if he's still the mayor of New York City. I think he still is the mayor of New York City. It's been a while since I've been to New York. Yeah, okay, he is the mayor. Turkey has been an endless source of fascination since he was 24, blah, 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 blah. Okay. The FBI Manhattan prosecutors probed whether a Brooklyn construction company with suspected ties to the Turkish government used straw donors to help Adams successfully fund his city hall run in 2021. He has time to time boasted about his ties to Turkey. When he was Brooklyn borough president, he made 2 sponsored visits to the country, one of which was paid for by entities including the Turkish consulate. It seems reasonable to ask if construction companies in question sought Adams's help with a variety of building projects that group associated with the Turkish government around the city. One of these was the actual Turkish consulate, which was being renovated at the time and may have had to shut down. It wasn't, I can't remember the details exactly, but there was definitely some issues with, it was either the fire department or just general construction that were claiming that the consulate building was unsafe and could not be used for the purposes they needed to leave. And so that kind of went away with Eric Adams. It's not a surprise when there's this much connection to a foreign company and a foreign country and money involved. There's Robert Menendez that happened, obviously there. Michael Flynn was a Russian agent. There's plenty of evidence of American politicians, as well as everyone else, working for foreign countries, and we just don't. Like, this was he's still the mayor of New York City. Now, did they 100% prove this? I don't know, probably not, but that's because he's friends with he was the former police commissioner, or sorry, police chief. Like, in 2005, a report found that 159 lawmakers and staffers had privately sponsored trips from the Turkish government that Erdogan's allies controlled at the time. 159 lawmakers. This was in 2023 on Politico. Do you remember big news like that? Do you remember 159 lawmakers being put in jail? Because that would have made the news. That would have been carved into our memory. No, they haven't. Most of these political scandals involving Turkey are the fault of American politicians who bring disrepute to themselves and their offices, but there is something else going on here. For their experience dealing with U.S. political system, Turkish leaders seems to believe that the way politics works in the United States is not all that different from the way that it works in Turkey. Sometimes they're right about that, or at least that a few politicians play by their own rules. They really do think that they can just buy us, and it's not just Turkey. So today, the FBI raided the home of Mayor Eric Adams' aide. Multiple outlets reported. Federal agents raided 2 homes owned by Winnie Greco, Adams' director of Asian Affairs. The raid, first reported by Channel 12 in the Bronx, is a part of an investigation conducted by the U.S. Attorney General's office in Brooklyn. It's unclear if it's connected to Adams, which is the subject of a separate inquiry. The search of the property came months after Adams' associated homes were searched, part of a federal corruption probe centered on the mayor's 2021 election campaign, which allegedly conspired with the Turkish government. Now, yes, they are still investigating. It's been years. It's 2021. I don't know. I haven't heard an indictment be put on him yet. There's plenty of evidence of this. I remember reading the articles back when this was occurring of how the actual donations were working, where I think politicians are only in the field for profit at this point. I don't know if it has ever been better, but right now it's obvious how rotten the government has become. Well, I've talked about this before. Money in politics is the greatest issue of our generation. And yes, a lot of politicians that are in government, especially in the United States, are there for profit. Almost all of them. And the way to fix that is A, get bribery out of politics, make it so corporations can no longer spend millions of dollars on super PACs to fund political campaigns. And beyond that, we need to change the system from the bottom up. It's never going to change from the top down. People like you, people like me need to enter politics. We need to start with local seats, local councils, and fix problems on a small scale. Get your friends to come in with you, and then work your way up. That's the only way change will ever actually, meaningful positive change that is lasting. That is the only way that it will ever occur, is from the bottom up, not from the top down. And as many people as you can, think about it, right? How many people do you think in your town hate your town's council? How many doors do you think you would need to knock on and just talk about, some potholes in the road or shit, just very, very small local politics stuff to get elected to this? No one likes their, local boards. It's easy. Get into the Democratic Party. Go run for, your state elections. The down ballot elections, in fact, are way, way more important than the presidential election. Most of the red states that we have Marco Rubio making a comment on our little
every one of
Russia
those stories are real and truthful. Can you explain to me
on Fox fucking News?
And this audience what that indictment's about?
Okay, so disinformation is something totally different from what they are going after or describing. Disinformation is when you make up things that aren't true and you spread it so people think they're true. In this particular
Which is exactly what they've been doing.
case, we are talking about pre-existing political opinions in the United States. These are pre-existing political opinions that have existed well before any Russian engagement.
Oh my goodness! So that's their argument?
One of the indictments that came out yesterday, it does not allege that these people that they say were being funded by the secret donor that was hiding their true identity, they already had these opinions. They already believed in these things.
You got 100K to talk shit about Ukraine, did you?
Legitimately
joining Tim Pool on Timcast Cheeseburger?
Believe in the views that they're espousing. They were victims. They were targets of a fraud in which someone posing as just a regular investor.
I wonder if I could defraud the Russian government by saying that I will take money. Oh, the CCP told you to say that stuff the other night. Oh, I get it. 50K easy. Cool. Can you defraud them? Because I'm wondering if they give me money for saying this stuff and then I immediately come out and say, oh, no, by the way, ignore everything I just said. That was just to prove to everybody, look at this money I got from these people. I don't even want the money. I'll give it to the government. I feel like they'd hack me. Yeah, probably. Give a shit. What are they gonna do? And hack me and what? They have nothing they can do to me if they hack me. What, they can stop me from streaming? DDoS me with my 12 viewers?
Had Russian money behind them. As far
Look, these people are obviously lying, and again, it is so very clear when you're looking at somebody who's paid to say something. And as we went over with all the videos of Tim Pool, for example, talking about issues, he may not have gotten paid specifically to have these points of view, but he certainly is getting paid to say them on the internet. And that is the point. It's not about, as Marco Rubio said, whether it's a pre-existing ideology or view that this person has. First of all, it is incorrect information that you're trying to make people believe. So yes, it is disinformation, whether you like it or not. But on top of that, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. You're getting paid to say it to your viewers to influence their opinion. It is still objectively working for a foreign country. It is still being a foreign agent. It is still illegal. And I really want them to investigate a lot more people than they have now.